Hello, here we are at Home Daily Bible Readings Sunday School lessons. We go through the days, so we're at Friday, June the 5th, the vast scope of Solomon's wisdom. This whole quarter talks about wisdom. So every lesson deals with wisdom, and so here we are at Solomon's wisdom. We're at chapter 1 of 1 Kings, verse 29 through 34. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding, exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. So why did Solomon get this? Why did Solomon and nobody else? Well, you have to go back to 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter, and starting at the 7th verse, but in the 9th verse, Solomon asked God, he says, "Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, and that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this thy so great a people?" Well, remember in the last quarter we talked about God and judgment and justice. God so loves judgment. God so loves justice that when we get here and Solomon is asking for an understanding heart that he can judge the people, that he's asking for an understanding heart that he may discern, between good and bad, God is like pleased, and the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked. So God, in verse 11, begins to grant to him the wisdom. He says, because you didn't ask for material things, you didn't ask for long life, you didn't ask for riches, you didn't ask for life yourself, so that you, and over to the hand of the enemies, but you asked for the discernment and understanding of my people. Oh my goodness, I'm going to grant you that and much more. So God, in verse 29 of chapter 4, God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, because he didn't ask for riches. Solomon didn't ask for to destroy the enemy. Solomon didn't ask for all of these things down here on earth. Solomon asked for kingdom. He says, if you will give me an understanding heart, if you will give me wisdom to judge the people, judge between right and wrong, good and evil, then I'll be satisfied with that. And God does much more. God says, and largeness of heart, so that his heart would be an understanding heart, so that he would understand what God wanted for his people, even as the sand that is on the seashore. So he was going to be a wealth of knowledge. He was going to be a wealth of information. He was going to have wisdom for sure, because that's what he asked of God, rather than material things or things that would profit him. Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of the children of the East country and all of the wisdom of Egypt. So we talk about the East country, that's the people out of Asia. We're talking about Egypt, that's the people who they had understood before, that taught them all kinds of sciences, that taught them all kinds of things to do, because they were a very learned people. For he was wiser than all men. And then it talks about Ethan the Ezrahite, which wrote Psalms 89. He talks about Heman and Chakol. These were all king's children, and the king's children were all students of the word and students of the natural world around them. Heman also wrote Psalms 88, Chakol and Darda, the sons of Mahol, and Solomon's fame was in all the nation. And he spake 3,000 proverbs. So proverbs, those things that are telling wisdom, telling how to get wisdom, what to do with wisdom, how to treat wisdom, how to embrace wisdom. He does all of those things. And his songs were 1,005. So he wrote songs, and these songs were of wisdom. These things happen. He spake of trees and the from the cedar tree that's in Lebanon, even to the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake of beast and of fowl and of creeping thing and of fishes. So he's giving this wisdom about all of these things that happen in nature. And there came all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all the kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. So people were coming from all around to talk about or hear the wisdom of Solomon. So we're looking at the vast scope of Solomon's wisdom, and it encompasses a lot of things. It's just not the wisdom in one thing or the wisdom in a couple of things, but it encompasses all of the things of wisdom. That's our Home Daily Bible reading for Friday, June 5th. Thank you for joining us. God bless.